It's right there. He doesn't want to show it off on camera.
Okay, fine, whatever. But really, really nice.
Welcome back to Tablenauts, where today we're experiencing the post-GenCon blues. And an amazing weekend, all to come home and be without the excitement of the exhibit hall and the warmth and comfort of friends just meeting and those we've known for a long time.
I'm gonna be sad.
And ultimately, we're just here to reminisce and talk about our favorite experiences, both in games, food, people, whatever it may be, that we had at GenCon 2022, which was an incredible convention. And I can't wait to go to the next one and hopefully come back to GenCon in the future also. So, I don't know where you start off on your list, but I'd like to start off on mine real quick
go ahead.
with a number 6. Or an honorable mention.
Oh, no. I could have a number 6. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Let's do number 6.
Great.
Let's do 6.
Maybe this is
top
the same
12
for you.
Experiences.
So it was great. After a fiasco, which I will not tell on camera, that is up for you to decide if you want to share that information. But the convention started with us meeting Michelle and Jim from Second Star to the Left. Then we met Amy and Maggie from Thinker Themer. We met Monique and Naveen from Before You Play, and we just hung out the first 30 minutes while we were anxiously awaiting for the exhibit hall to open up. And then it was just like when the floodgates opened and the hall opened up and Gen Con officially began. It was just like 6 giddy children walking into a convention hall, and I just remember just bouncing off their energy, and like you ran to the Van Ryder booth, and I was just following Amy and Maggie. I was like, where are we going? And we went, and it was just so exciting to have that moment with friends, because it was just really an incredible entrance to all that Gen Con is. That whole, the rush into the exhibit hall, number 6, honorable mention for me.
Such a good feeling. Number 6 for me was the food experience in general, which is kind of a cop out. But like I did want to, like I wasn't going to include this until you mentioned you were going to have 6. But I love that they have food trucks right outside the hall, right outside the convention center.
Yeah.
Such a good idea. And I would say if I'm going to vote, like my favorite of the convention was Harry and Izzy's. Like I love their burger.
I regret not getting their cocktail sauce, because that was fire.
So good. And they had tater tots that were fantastic dipped in that sauce.
Having that resource, granted the lines were long, there's no doubt about that.
Huge lines.
But like having that resource just right outside with a plethora of options to pick from, a mere 1 minute walk, from like 30-second walk, a single crosswalk away from the convention center, was absolutely incredible.
Number 5.
Number 5 for me was, we can start talking about some games, the Consignment store.
Oh,
that was
so
really cool. See,
Yeah.
I have a weird relationship with game stores and purchasing games, because I used to buy anything and everything I got my hands on. I used to love going to game stores.
That would have been a very dangerous place for you.
Right, to purchase anything that looked remotely attractive to me. Of course, financial situations have kind of changed to where like I don't have that disposable income to just go buying, which is probably a good thing. But I have to be way more reserved and conscious about the purchasing that I'm making. So this was probably the first time that I've like been in a board game store. Obviously it's different. It's not a retail store where like I felt like giddy again, because like most time I go into a store, I'm looking around, it's all exciting and new, but I typically don't walk away with much. And I didn't this time either, but it was very fun because like there were deals to be had.
Huge.
There were some great things that you could find way underpriced, and like it was just exciting. Like you're just searching through a yard sale of board games. Like, but it was still just a very exciting time to shop. It was just fun and entertaining.
It's really tough because there were so many good moments.
Oh, there were.
But my number 5 is the this moment that we had with AEG. Where we weren't really sure if like what was going to happen, but we'd met with Vlad, who is an incredible guy.
What a sweetie.
What a sweetie. And we met up with him, and he threw out the invitation like, hey, I know you guys didn't sign up, but like, would you like to come?
That's on me.
Tomorrow to the like creators thing in the presidential suite. And I made him laugh by saying,
"Is the president going to be there?"
Like no one else laughed, but Vlad thought it was funny, and you're awesome, Vlad. Thank you for that. And I'm coupling that experience because we got to actually see a bunch of games that they're going to be pushing out over the next like 2-3 years. But I'm coupling that with the experience I had with one of the games that was shown off there, which was actually a smaller game by a guy named Nathan Thornton, and I ended up getting it. and just met him. And
it's right there. He doesn't want to show it off on camera.
Okay, fine, whatever. But really, really nice. What did I just break?
I saw it coming the whole way.
What did I just break?
Really chill, dog. Get away from the broken glass.
I amaze myself in my ability to screw things up. So, as I was saying, coupled with that moment that we had because Vlad invited us to this awesome little meeting, I got to meet a really cool designer of a game that also, he designed Green Team Wins, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, like, I met with him with my wife, and my wife was like, let's just go buy the game.
With Emily?
With Emily. Sorry. Yeah, they make fun of me.
That's just a callback. Hey, yeah. Jeff and Kyle will enjoy that.
Gave him big hugs. Like, really, really nice guy. I feel like I would like to just sit down and play games with him. But, yeah, that was my number 5.
Okay.
And that shows you how great GenCon was, because that was a good moment.
My number 4, which we're getting into, like, the top 4 for me are all really superb moments here. The number 4 for me was playing Blood on the Clocktower. We played Blood on the Clocktower on Thursday night at 9 o'clock after Doolin had a little impromptu nap on the table in the open play area.
I was very tired.
We played with a couple members of the Off Meta YouTube channel, as well as Charlie Thiel, who is a written reviewer, and a couple of his friends also. So that was a blast. It was several experienced players, several mildly experienced players, and then several new players who'd never played before. It was just a ton of fun. We absolutely loved it.
It was a lot of fun. It was not in my top 5, but again, I love Blood on the Clocktower, and that game was a lot of fun. We won, too.
We won.
And that was one of the very first times where I actually felt really useful in the game, too. Like, one of the biggest moments of the game, I actually got this really cool, like, shocking, like, thing that got revealed to me.
There were, like, 2 things. The one guy nominated the Virgin and died, and that kind of clarified that for us. And then you saw that, you know, he was this, and the Virgin was this, which we already knew. And then one person died. He was like, I was the soldier. And you were like, I learned that you were not the soldier.
It was so good.
And it just all started to unravel. It was a blast. It was a blast.
All right. So my number 4 was it's actually my second favorite game I got to demo at Gen Con, which unfortunately Max wasn't there for.
I know it. Fit to print. Fit to print.
Fit to print is so good, and I can't wait until it comes out. I think it's not gonna be out until 2023, which really stinks. But this is by the same people who make Calico and also Cascadia. 2 incredible games,
out,
but they're not really similar to that. In fact, if I could compare this to anything, it would be maybe that you take like that Polyomino style game and then combine it with Galaxy Trucker.
Okay, I'm into
it. Your own newspaper.
Is it real time?
Real time at the very beginning.
Okay.
Then it becomes a Polyomino game. So like you're grabbing all of these tiles to put on your newspaper table that you could potentially put into your newspaper, which is only so big and only so many squares.
So many things, right?
And there are very strict placement rules on it too, which really, really gets in your way. There's points based off of like how many of specific type of articles you have, how many ads you have. Whoever has the least amount of ads at the end of the game, even if they're winning, they get eliminated from the game.
Oh, that's
so you have to
cool.
make awesome little mechanic there. On top of that,
what a nice wrinkle.
Yeah. On top of that, you have to have happy and sad articles
Stories,
even themselves out. And the more you have of one over the other gets subtracted from your score at the end of each round. Really great game.
Also beautiful.
Incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for this. I think it's again number 2 out of a bunch of awesome games for me.
I'm sad I didn't make it.
I'm really sad we didn't go and play it. Because I would have, if I played it with you, I still would have played it again with Emily. But it was just one of those that I kept saying, I'm going to play it with Emily. Let's wait with me. But then, it just didn't work out for you to play too.
So good.
Great game. Oh, and I should say, I got to play this with Michelle and Jim, who rarely plays board games.
Yeah.
And I think he really liked it
That's
too.
great.
So
that's awesome. Jim was such a nice guy.
They're from Second Store to the Left. Go check them out.
Yeah.
Won't be the last time I put on.
My number 3, which, to clarify, if this was a top 5 games at Gen Con list, would be number 1. But it is my 3rd favorite experience of the convention, which is Hoplomachus Victorum.
So good.
We got invited to a Chip Theory Games demo, which, before we even talk about the game, what a lovely group of people.
Oh, incredible.
Like, hi, nice to meet you. Genuine, lovely conversation. Do you want coffee? Yeah, I love coffee. Welcome to this private room with these comfy chairs.
Oh, man.
Here's a gift bag for you. Like,
got treated like
hello?
royalty.
They were amazing. That was such a good time. And we've already loved their games before. I'm a huge fan of Too Many Bones. We do have Burn Cycle, which we're about to start getting to the table, and we're going to cover that one when it comes out also. But I'll tell you, I haven't played Burn Cycle yet. I love Too Many Bones, but wow, Hoplomachus Victorum may far and above be the best chip theory game. Obviously, I'm not gonna say that yet. I need to play it more.
It's the most fun I've had playing a chip theory game.
It's awesome. And we played this solo game two-handed, which, as long as you're cool with sharing the decision space, was a blast. It was still a good time with Doolin and I agreeing on the proper action to take. It's not like other, like Spirit Island, where you're cooperating and you each have your own thing you're doing. We obviously did not have that. We had to share decision space, but it still worked really well. But wow, this game, it's beautiful. The iconography is incredibly legible and understandable. It plays really smoothly, like not difficult at all. It's just so good.
I'm gonna talk about it later.
It's so good. I'm not gonna linger on it too much longer, given he just said that. We'll dive into it even more when it comes around for you. But wow, good. What an experience where I was like looking forward to it, and then I played it, and it just blew me out of the water. Even still,
my number 3 was one that I think will probably include in your list as well. But this was an experience where we went up to the Czech Games Edition booth.
This is my number 2. So okay, let's just merge them all together.
This is when we played Pictomania. Go ahead, without destroying everything. Good job. On stream with some amazingly awesome people. On my side of the table, there was Meeple Conrad.
Part of Master Goblin Games and his own streamer.
Great dude. Bonzinator.
Also Master Goblin Games and her own streamer.
You.
Me.
You want to tell them about you, where they can find you?
Tablenauts.
And then Jamie Daggers.
Who is
everything.
Professional miniature painter. She owns a friendly local game store. Like, wow. Yeah, talk about multifaceted
And then there's Ray.
And then there's Ray. All 6 of us.
Yeah.
Us included.
Apparently for Czech Games Edition.
We're
told you where everybody else was from.
Incredible people.
Oh, yeah.
All 6 of us. Us too. Yeah. We're all a bunch of great folks.
Some of us were way better at the game than other people. I was very bad.
You were very bad.
But I had
Conrad wiped the floor with us.
He's like doubled my score.
I came in second, and then I think it was Bonds, and then Jamie,
Ray.
And then you and Ray tied, right?
I did not tie with any.
Okay. I don't remember the score. Regardless, Conrad wiped the floor with us. But coming into this experience, obviously, I mean, I have more experience live streaming than you do. I think you were a bit nervous, and I was a hair nervous, but honestly, the people around the table just did everything they possibly could to make the experience chill and just be yourself. And I mean, the game, not at all chill. But the time we had was just an absolute blast. You basically just forgot the stream. Like, you were just playing games with friends.
We made 4 new friends there.
We really did, truly. Like, we've already been talking to Bonds and Jamie, and hopefully to Ray and Conrad also. Like, they're just great people that we want to be friends with and involved with moving forward, because they're awesome to be around. Pictomania was an absolute blast. Talk about a sleeper hit. Talk about a game that I signed up for. I was just like, yeah, it sounds fun. It's a drawing game. This sounds enjoyable. And then, like, after we played it, both Doolin and I were like, it's probably the best drawing game we've played. Like, that it might have to be. Like, it's not necessarily the one size fits all, because, like, it's not the same as the Pictionary or the Telestrations or the Doodle Dash, but like, in general, I think this is my favorite drawing game that I've played. It is all
about speed.
And it is hard.
Yes. That was my number 3. Your number 2.
Yep.
My number 2 is Hoplomachus Victorum.
Not
none
surprising.
other than Chip Theory Games. One of the best game that I demoed while at PAX easily.
Yeah, I mean,
we got pulled off into a separate little room. So they buttered us up with like coffee and like all this stuff. But like, even then, this game is
they could have treated us like trash, and we would have loved that game.
It was really, really good though.
So good.
As a solo gamer
and a non-solo gamer,
I think this game has potential to be my favorite solo game of all time. which
definitely for me,
which would mean that it would be better in my mind than Set a Watch. It would be better than my mind than Final Girl, than Tainted Grail, than quite a few games that I absolutely have loved. My favorite mechanic, easily, is going around and doing non-lethal combat with the heroes of different areas, which, again, there are different neoprene mats for every single map that you go to, but...
They all have different, like, benefits, too. Like, the Atlantis battle map will help the person if they're an Atlantean, so on and so forth.
But drawing the characters that you will fight in those, with all of their special abilities and all of that, and then after beating them, if you beat them at Capture the Flag or King of the Hill or whatever it is that you're competing in, you get to pick one of the opposing team's players to come with you on the rest of the journey. And it just makes me feel so much like I'm playing Pokemon or some other games that I love from the past that, like,
100%.
I genuinely got really excited at the opportunity of, oh, okay, I know what my final boss is, and I know what their weakness is, and I know what their strengths are. And I can go to specific places because you know what heroes are going to lead the way at specific battle arenas, and pick and choose who I'm going to try to recruit. Yeah. And that's just such a cool experience.
That whole navigating the map kind of experience just reminded me of Slay the Spire in how you navigate. You know what you're getting into when you go there, and you know what rewards you can get and all those kinds of things. And then, like you said, Pokemon, where you're fighting a gym leader, and then you're just picking a Pokemon out of their satchel and saying, "This is mine now."
This is like
mine. You're just fighting,
and you're I'm gonna go fight the elite
person,
elite
four with them. Yeah, it's great, and it's awesome. It's interesting. We had like the worst people we could have possibly had to face the Hydra. All of our people had retaliate, which is not good against the Hydra. But it was, we just drew out random people and threw them in because it was a demo. We were just trying to try out the base game or the normal fighting experiences and then the boss battle. But that bad experience honestly showed us, to me at least, how vital it was and how important it was that you curate your team throughout the game. Like, had we known we were fighting the Hydra, we'd have never picked anyone with retaliate. Like, no thank you. I want those big hitters. I want the guys that do a lot of damage. Yeah. And I don't care if they give like little nickel and dimes back and forth. I don't want that. It really showed to me that each, I can't remember the name, the big baddies, whatever they call them in the game, is like really going to change every single experience. Who you want to have on your team. Sure, there are probably going to be meta characters that like, oh, I found this guy, he's great, add him to the team. But other than that, like, it's going to be different every time you want to play, I think.
Yeah, and on top of that, because this game it's not a campaign, it's just a, pick all of these things out, shuffle them, pick your boss monster, pick your starting character. I think more than ever, I'll want it all to make sure that is, like, I can see a whole bunch.
Because it's not a play it once and be done type thing. You need the variability. Yeah. You may play the Hydra 5 times in a row until you beat it, or you may play it because you just want to get better at the fight, but you're eventually going to want to move past the Hydra, and you're going to want to fight someone else, and you're going to want to play with a different starting hero. And yeah, I think it's just really exciting that there's going to be that much content in the game.
Yeah. That was my number 2.
I wonder if our number 1s are going to match up or not, but for me, probably I just bulked it all together.
Oh, maybe.
Number 1 is just meeting the friends and people that we've talked to for ages but never met in person, or meeting for the first time, stopping us in the hall, stopping us at booths, anything and everything. The people are ultimately what make the con worthwhile. I mean, the games are amazing, the demos are amazing, getting free stuff is amazing, but ultimately meeting with people are what makes this worth the money and the time and the experience. That it's all worthwhile.
Yeah. That's exactly what mine is.
Yeah.
Forever, I've messaged, because I didn't get to go to PAX with you guys. So this was my very first con as a creator.
Sure, as a content creator,
And I was extremely nervous because, like, I got into this as fan first, right? So, like, there were even creators that I met there that, like, I started out as a huge fan of. And, like, even just meeting some of you who, like, have been in our Discord, or some people that I genuinely think of as friends online, Like I like before I met Jazz in person, like I already considered him a really good friend.
Yeah.
Before I met Michelle in person, I already considered her a really good friend. But to meet, like, at the very, very beginning, Michelle met us at the door. I gave her a huge hug, and like that was just overwhelming, like feeling. Meeting Jim, great. But then after that, panicking because I lost my keys. Mm-hmm. And then after that, running back because I heard that like Maggie and Amy are here from Thank You Themer.
We're hanging out with Amy, Maggie,
and I like panicked because I was like, what if I don't see them? And genuinely, there was this moment like after meeting them because they're so sweet. Like I didn't know how cons worked. I was afraid that like we were all gonna run our separate ways and I was never gonna see them again. And so I literally said like, Maggie and Amy, I just want you guys to know, like, I love your stuff. Like, in case I never see you again, I just want you to know that, like, this is great. And, like, they all start laughing at me because, like, of course we're going to see each other again. Because that's the nature of cons, right? But, like, in my mind, like, it was just, that's it. Like, I got my interaction with them for the con and, like, all of that stuff. But meeting Monique and Naveen, they were, like, so down to earth. They offering to walk with us to go see Lucas Oil Stadium.
That was really cool.
Hang out with Drew and Andrew.
The Drew crew.
Meeting Sam, who's genuinely one of the kindest people ever, and then Jazz, Tim. But
we're probably forgetting people, and we apologize.
Like
Kim, Peter, AZ Tap Fan, all the people that we saw from the Discord.
Yeah.
All the people that we've talked to from companies that we've never actually put a face to their name before. Ross from North Star Games. Just
I met Derek Funkhauser, really nice guy.
So many good people.
Vlad, even like all of the AEG people that we met, and then
Meg,
all of the
Alex.
people that we streamed with. They were incredible people, and it was just every single moment was filled with genuinely kind individuals who made this whole channel worth it. And like I've had moments ever since we came home where I've just been overwhelmed with emotions, like of I cannot believe that us just having conversations a long time ago about, hey, we're going to cover board games has led to this. And like if all of it ended now, like I would be okay.
Content,
I would be content. But it's not over. We're going to keep doing stuff.
No, it's not.
But
in fact, I think it's important to also mention that before we get even more sappy as we close the video, conventions are a real good Kickstarter in the sense that they really light a fire under you. Not only because, I want to continue to get free games and continue to be noticed at conventions. Like, that is such a smaller part of a much grander idea, which is just like, I just love what we're doing here. There are moments, there are times when you're running a channel where things slow down or where you get too busy. This summer has been really, not rough, we've made it through, but this summer has been really challenging, I guess, for us just at Tablenauts, with vacations, with work, your uptick in the summer of what you have to do, and just making things work, getting together, playing games, enjoying each other's company has taken a back seat, as it should. I mean, it doesn't take priority over family and work and whatnot, but it's just it's nice to feel that reinvigoration, that renewed excitement and renewed drive for trying to just continue to make content. Like he said, it doesn't matter if this were to all end now. We've met some amazing friends and people that we could call friends for the rest of our lives, despite whether we create content or not. But we do want to continue doing that. We do enjoy what we're doing. We enjoy playing games and talking about them and hanging out with you guys. You all have made the con that much better. Both the creators, the publishers, the community managers we spoke to, the people who we've only talked to on Twitter, YouTube comments, or Discord who felt so comfortable enough to come up and tell us hello. Like that just means the world to us.
Please keep doing that. Like not anything to like stroke our ego at all. We just genuinely want to meet you. And oh man, to hear like somebody say, I'm a fan of you guys. I like the stuff that you do. You
guys make me laugh. All these things, like, wow, really?
It's such an encouragement, more so than you ever will realize. Like, 100%. It makes us want to keep doing it. So, like, we really do appreciate you guys so much. And I think I'm going to pass it to you before I get any more emotional. Because I told you that I might cry on video, and I don't want to do that. So,
yeah, I mean, just to cap it off, GenCon was amazing. It was an incredible convention. Playing games with people that you've met, that you've watched from afar, that you've established relationships over the internet and internet only and you're not sure if you're actually friends, but you really are. People really kind of just they're as kind as they seem to be, honestly. And you kind of get scared when you go to conventions, but then it all works out, and you realize that you had nothing to be afraid of to begin with. And it's just been an incredible experience. I was really glad that you were able to join me this time. Obviously, I've been to Origins and I've been to PAX, and they were all incredible, all individually amazing experiences. And I'm so finally happy that you were able to join and see what it was all about. And you did not disappoint, Gen Con. So if you engaged with us in any way, shape, or form, if you played a game with us, if you just said hello, if you stopped by and we talked, if you were part of the people that we streamed with or who we walked around the halls with, or the publishers who talked to us about their games, just know that it meant the world to us. And we are so excited to continue moving forward with more cons and more meetings and more demos and more friends. And we can't wait to do that.
It's only going to get better.
Absolutely.
That was not the peak.
Yep.
I look forward to the next one.
We'll see you then.